Welcome to another episode of Crimson Sin with Tamsin Leigh. I am your host, Tamsin Leigh. Today's case brings us to Norway in the 1970s, where a mysterious death still haunts the country. On November 29th, 1970, a family hiking in the Isdal Valley near Bergen, Norway, made a gruesome discovery: the charred remains of a woman. This chilling find would launch a decades-long investigation, a mystery that deepened with every clue unearthed. The woman, who remains unidentified despite advancements in DNA technology, left behind a perplexing web of enigmas. Coded messages, elaborate disguises, and fabricated identities added layers of intrigue to the case, baffling investigators and captivating the public's imagination. The recovery team, dispatched to retrieve the charred body, included police lawyer Carl Halvor Aas, the sole survivor of that group as of the 2016 NRK investigation. "The stench was the first thing that hit us," Aas recalled. "We were clambering up a steep rocky slope, not a trail by any means. I remember wondering where exactly we were going. Upon reaching the body, speculation ran rampant. Some officers theorized a tragic accident, perhaps a fall into a fire followed by a desperate backward lunge. Others suspected foul play, imagining a lurking murderer concealed within the dense forest. The corpse lay outstretched in a boxer's or fencer's position, a typical posture for bodies burned alive, with arms extended before the torso. Scattered around were the charred remnants of her belongings: clothing fragments, an umbrella, 2 melted plastic bottles, a half-empty bottle of Kloster liqueur, a passport cover, and more. Yet these items provided little to no clues about her identity. It appeared as though every trace of identification had been meticulously erased. Clothing labels were cut away, and even the labels on the bottles were removed. Forensic investigator Tormod Bones, speaking to the BBC, noted another peculiar detail. The woman possessed a watch and jewelry, but none were worn. Instead, they were placed beside her. The arrangement of the objects around the body was unsettling, Bones remarked. It seemed as if some kind of ritual had taken place. Eyewitness accounts offered little in the way of concrete identification. Police pieced together a vague description: a woman approximately 5'4", aged 25 to 40, with long brownish black hair, styled in a ponytail tied with a blue and white print ribbon, a small round face, brown eyes, and small ears. Who was she? What led to her tragic demise? And why, despite the lack of answers, did the police abruptly close the case after a mere few weeks? A few days after the discovery, a chilling development unfolded. 2 suitcases were found abandoned at the Bergen railway station's luggage department. Inside one, prescription-free glasses were discovered, and a fingerprint on the lens matched that of the Isdal Woman. This seemed to be a breakthrough, a crucial step towards uncovering her identity. Alongside the glasses, a collection of items was found: clothing, wigs, a comb, a hairbrush, cosmetics, eczema cream, teaspoons, and currency from various European countries. But, again, all labels that could have potentially identified the woman, her clothes, or her belongings, had been meticulously removed. The woman's name had been meticulously removed from the eczema cream tube, and no major department stores could identify the source of her clothing. Adding to the enigma, police discovered a coded note among her belongings. They later deciphered the code, believing it might reveal a trail of hotels she had stayed at and their corresponding dates. The only concrete lead unearthed in the suitcases was a plastic bag from Oscar Rortvet's footwear store in Stavanger. Rolf Rortvet, the owner's son, recalled selling a pair of boots to a very well-dressed, elegant woman with dark hair, who spent an unusually long time making her selection. Police believe these boots match those found at the scene of the Isdal woman's death. This crucial clue led them to a nearby hotel, where she had checked in under the alias Fenella Lorch. In fact, she had stayed at several Norwegian hotels prior to her death, each time employing a different pseudonym: Genevieve Lancier, Claudia Tielt, Claudia Nielsen, Alexia Zarne-Merchez, Vera Jarl, and Elizabeth Lienhofer were just a few of the aliases she utilized. Alvild Rangnes, a waitress at one of the hotels the woman stayed at, vividly recalled her guest. "My initial impression was one of elegance and self-assurance," she told the BBC. "I even remember her winking at me as if she sensed I was observing her a bit too intently. On one occasion," Rangnes continued, "she was dining in the hall, seated directly beside, yet seemingly aloof from, two German naval personnel, one of whom held the rank of officer. These peculiar observations, coupled with the Cold War era in which her death occurred, fueled speculation that the Isdal woman might have been a spy. Moreover, some clues hinted at a possible connection to the Norwegian Penguin missile trials of the 1960s. Yet, despite these leads, the police remained no closer to unraveling her identity. The initial autopsy revealed several key facts. She was neither pregnant, nor had she ever given birth. A bruise on her neck suggested a significant fall, or a possible blow, but there were no signs of underlying illness. We discovered smoke particles in her lungs," Bonas stated, indicating that the woman was alive while she was being burned. "We can definitively state that petrol was used." The autopsy revealed a startling discovery. Approximately 50 to 70 sleeping pills were found in her stomach, though not all had been fully absorbed. The official cause of death was determined to be a combination of carbon monoxide poisoning and the effects of the sleeping pills, leading investigators to conclude that suicide was a possible cause. "We discussed it within the police department, but to my recollection, few of us believed it was suicide," Oss stated. "I personally don't believe it was." Nevertheless, it was the closest they came to an explanation, and the case was officially closed in 1971. A Catholic funeral, attended by police officers, was held for the unidentified woman. However, the Isdal woman's case continued to haunt some members of the force. 46 years later, in 2016, NRK journalists and the Norwegian police decided to reopen the investigation. They hoped that advancements in forensic technology and DNA analysis might finally provide answers to the enduring questions. Who was she? Why was she in Norway? And why did she meet her tragic end deep within the Isdalen Valley? Crime reporter Knut Havik was among those who vehemently rejected the suicide theory. "I am absolutely convinced this was a murder," Havik declared. Her multiple identities, the use of codes, the wigs, the constant travel between towns and frequent hotel switches. This is what the police term conspiratory behavior. Years later, a significant breakthrough occurred. Scientists successfully generated a full DNA profile of the Isdal woman. It revealed her European ancestry, and authorities are actively collaborating with law enforcement agencies across Europe to find a match. However, as of this episode, the search for a match has been unsuccessful. The woman's identity remains shrouded in mystery. Nevertheless, investigators are closer than ever to unraveling this decades-old enigma. Only time will reveal whether the truth will ever be brought to light. What are your thoughts on today's case? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for listening and your support. Stay safe, and I will see you for the next episode.